So I recorded, and I just wanted to ask if you came up with any decisions with final names, mission statement or vision statement. Is there anything finalized? Have you had a chance to meet?
We did not meet.
Okay, so do you want to start with those?
Sure.
Okay, and then we'll go on to bylaws and structure. I just wanted to start, Carol did a Zoom training with me, and one of the things that she suggested is that we start with a quote when we're starting a meeting. And the one that I chose, all of our consultants got together, shared quotes, and I thought this might be appropriate. The most important thing about motivation is goal setting. You should always have a goal. So our goal this evening is hopefully to work on those three things and then work on some structure. These are the things that you came up with: the mission statement, Rodeph Sholom Sisterhood support, or whatever your name would be, supports the synagogue members by building community through education, programming, and fundraising. Is everybody good with that? To stick with that? Is that a final? Anybody want to do any tweaking?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
I have no problem with it. It's fine.
sounds fine.
Okay.
I think we figured out last time that was the best yet.
Okay.
And Sandy liked it too. I just went to get my phone so I could look at her email.
All right. Good. And then the vision statement.
Okay.
You have this, but it wasn't put into
Oh,
Statement.
a statement. Yes. Thank you.
Linda won't be here.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, she's with family. I can understand that.
She's on her way back from North Carolina. They're in North Carolina. They drove to New Jersey.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
they want to stop by?
Yeah, if they need a place for the night.
You could wave out the window.
Yeah. Okay, so the vision statement we have to put into
Yeah.
some kind of statement.
Okay, you have another thing you said last time: sisterhood is a supportive arm of the Rodeph Sholom community.
I like it because that's what we've always done in various different ways.
I like it. Lifestyle, that word kind of bothers me. I don't know why, but it seems,
Uh-huh.
I don't know that that's exactly what we do, but I think the supportive arm is, I think
Well,
that's really what we do.
All encompassing.
Yeah, because if we use families, then we're into the discussion of what's a family, and every family is different, and then we have single people.
Lifestyles are different.
Right, then you have people that, you know, are on their own. So maybe you just, yeah.
So if you say community, that's everybody.
Right.
I agree.
Okay.
Keep it simple. Kiss.
Yep.
Mimi Weissmish, rest in peace, used to always say, kiss, darling, kiss.
Yep.
Okay, so how do you want to put that in?
Do you think it would sound better if we said sisterhood is the supportive arm instead
Yes.
of A?
Is it
Instead of A?
the only one
Yes.
though? Is it the only one?
I don't think it's the only one. I think it's
No.
a supportive arm.
A supportive.
Okay. But you're talking about sisterhood. Okay, whatever.
Sisterhood is a supportive arm of the synagogue.
Okay, so you may change your name, so that may be different there. and you can maybe say a strong supportive arm, some other qualifying word, a leading supportive arm, is
What clicks, ladies?
I like it without anything else. I just like it as a supportive arm instead of, that's just me. Back to that simple thing.
Yeah,
We don't want to make it too complex for people.
right. Okay.
okay. All right, so this is it, and then we've got that. And this can all go before your membership for a vote too, because this will be part of your bylaws. You have 56 members, you said, and they may, if you're changing bylaws, you may need a vote for it. And Carol, you know that. So
I hear you, Renee, but we're not even there yet. I mean,
no, I know.
we're-
I understand that. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so the name change. Have you had time to mull that over? I will say not a lot, but I hear more and more sisterhoods are not sisterhood. They're going to women of.
Okay, so Sandy Turkel said, how about Rodeph Sholom Sisters Linking Sisters? That's her.
This one here.
Yeah. I think we need something simpler. That's everybody else.
Okay. You're all so quiet.
I know.
Trying to think.
Okay. I know that some people thought to keep the name sisterhood because that's how you identify. But if you really want to rebrand yourself and to rejuvenate, re-energize, I mean, think of all the big companies. Mac and cheese right now, they got a lot of backlash on it, but Nudes, spelled Noods for noodles. Pepsi and Coke have changed the different names of their drinks and whatever. So, the big guys all do it. Doesn't mean you have to, but.
Any opinions from all the other ladies sitting there?
Is there really a negative connotation of sisterhood?
I don't know your community to answer that. Can somebody else?
I don't think so, but that's my opinion.
For younger women, I would think it seems old-fashioned to me. I'm not one of the younger women, so you have to ask
Me either.
Neither am I.
Lisa?
Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to say it again. It's sort of like show me the money. Show me a program. I don't care if you want to call yourself the dog watchers of Rodeph Sholom. What are we going to do? I don't, it's not about the name to me. It's about what programming are we going to do that makes me want to come out. I mean, the name really just doesn't resonate or not. I like sisterhood. I grew up with sisterhood. I have a fondness for sisterhood. As I said last week or last time with Reva and Sandy, most of us, that grew up in a synagogue, I think, feel very good about the name. But I think the reason you don't see a lot of younger women is because either the timing's poor or the programming just doesn't resonate.
Okay, so I have a question, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought is that if it says sisterhood, is somebody your age or young even going to look at it?
Yeah.
Do we even get to the point? Wait, do they even get to the point of looking at what the program or event or anything is, but they see sisterhood and automatically they go, that's not for me?
If you put in the title of the email, wine tasting or something like that,
Right.
we're all about it. You know, I mean, it's really more about getting my attention. When I send an email at work and I'm trying to get someone's attention, one of my customers, you know, the last thing I want to do is say, you know, sales, you know, people hang garlic. So it's usually, you know, following up, or you asked for this information, or, you know, whatever. So, I mean, if you look at what appeals to younger women, and I'm even talking women younger than myself, it's generally get me out of the house, get me something fun to do that involves a sisterhood type, because they just got out of sororities. So sisterhood type community, and that you're going to get together with a bunch of women and you're going to have a good time. That, for example, I'm taking a cooking class. I mean, I've been dying to get over to Hyde Park to that place, and I just never have the time. I can never quite coordinate with my girlfriends. When I do, the schedule's sold out. If I saw something like that, I'd be like, sure. You know, those are the kinds of things. Like if you said, I can't even, sur la table class in the email,
Yeah.
you know, I would open it. I mean, I don't care if it was, you know, RSS at sur la table cooking class. I'd be like, what? Sur la table. So, you know, it really has more to do like how you would bring me in. I'm not speaking for the entire world, but it's got to be something, because most of us have talked about how pressed we are for time. It would have to be something that I say, you know, okay, I definitely, you know, I'll tell my husband I'm going out tonight, you know, and there's a certain amount of time that everybody has. Everybody has a finite amount of time. So you have to really, you know, redefine and refresh through action, you know, through it's the name. If you want to refresh the name, I can't remember what somebody threw out. Sisters of Rodeph Sholom, I think, was the one. That's great, you know, and I would be fine with that too. But it's really more about, you know, bringing a refresh to what historically used to be.
I like Sisters of Rodeph.
Carol, when the men's club sent out the email about the last two programs they had,
Right.
the thing that hit my eye was not men's club. It was the speaker, the program. And what we need to do is put sisterhood in the smaller print and the type of program in the larger print.
Okay.
So that it catches their eye as something exciting, and then they can see, oh, sister's sponsoring this.
Right.
Okay. All right. So leave it.
Does that come up more with what you're trying to say, Lisa?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I disagree, if that's okay, because I disagree just because we're trying to show that we're different than we were. We're trying to sort of modernize a little bit, and we have a vision that we didn't have before. We have a mission statement. So I think, I don't want somebody to look at and say, same old, same old. It would catch my eye if it had a little different name. Even if it didn't make any difference, I would think, well, maybe somebody new is working on it, something is different.
Sarah, what do you think? Because you've been in the office, or we're in the office.
Sorry?
What do you think?
Good question. I think anything we can do to liven things up, change things around, is a good thing. Just to put a new spin on things.
All right. So
So what's our, have we heard from everybody? Terry and who else? I don't see all the faces.
yeah.
I mean, sisters linking sisters is just kind of rubs me a little odd. I guess it Sisters of Rodeph. I was trying to see like synagogues in New Jersey if they have anything. So far, no, that I know of. But so I guess I don't mind sisterhood, but I can understand that in the subject heading that you say what the program is, because that's going to catch their eye. Oh, we're having wine tasting, or I don't know, whatever. And then if you say it's by sisterhood, hopefully that won't turn them off, and it's just wine tasting is what they're interested in, or whatever the name of the program is. But you're right. If you say sisterhood first, they might not continue to read it. What it's about. So, I mean, I see nothing wrong with sisterhood, but if you want to change it, I'm always open for change.
Okay,
I'm just still trying to see whether,
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I may be all wet, but I have a suggestion. What if we pick a name, whatever we decide, or we can keep it sisterhood and send out a survey?
Okay, so Temple Sherry Emmett, this is a Reformed synagogue in New Jersey. They just call themselves Sisterhood of Temple Sherry Emmett. The mission is to create a caring and spiritual environment, blah, 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 blah. I was trying to think of the synagogues that were near me in Jersey.
Yeah. This last one, this Women's Circle, I actually got that name from a friend of mine that made Aliyah, and that's what they were changing at the Masorti congregation. That's what they were changing their sisterhood name to. So
I like that better than Sisters Linking Sisters.
I do too.
yeah. So and these are all women's and not sisters. And how do women think today about themselves? And then what does that mean nowadays with all the gender identifications?
That is a good point.
Like, who considers himself a woman that they want to join sisterhood?
Yeah. Yeah. So we need to come up with some sort of a decision here. It's been a couple of weeks. And what would fit into these too? I mean, if it's not sisterhood, would you say Women's Circle, supportive arm, Women's Connection is a supportive arm, Women's Network, Women's Outreach, put them up there and see what fits in with what you have there for your statements.
I like the last one. I like how it sounds. Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle supports the synagogue members. That's my vote.
Me too.
Right. Carol, are you keeping track of votes? I can't see everybody when I'm sharing the screen.
Yes.
Okay, any other votes? We need something from everybody.
I mean, I'm fine. Women's Circle is fine. I just don't want people to think that it's not a sewing circle. I mean, granted,
right.
We do have 4 members of the knit and crochet group here.
Which may be why they're fine with Women's Circle.
Okay, so I looked up another synagogue, I don't know, somewhere out west, and they call them Sisterhood Temple Beth David of the San Gabriel Valley. I put in Temple Beth David because that's like a common name.
Yeah.
And they say, have been the movers and shakers in the community for a long time. They sponsor Onegs. They have a variety of activities, yada, yada. They have a Hanukkah boutique, Laka Mix Sale. Laka Mix Sale? What's a Laka Mix?
To me, the concept of a women's circle, I just see everybody all together in a circle, and it just, to me, exudes some warmth and friendship and camaraderie. but
The visual of a circle is, I think, nice.
I'm interested in the bullet points you just read about what they do, because that sounds like some of the things that might be nice for programming.
Right. But we will definitely get to programming at some point. Right now, we need to get this down and in place so that you can move forward and start using this new branding for your publicity.
okay, so Susie, you're okay with it. Sarah,
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
you said you're okay with it. Lisa?
I'm fine, just moving along here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Terry?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Rodeph Sholom Circle, Renee.
Rodeph Sholom.
Right, women's circle.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. And if you come up with a new logo, it can be in a circle. So there you go.
Yeah, Sarah and I, we can work on a cloud.
Sure, we can do a word cloud or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for getting through that. I know that seemed to be the toughest thing last time too. And then a tagline. There's a whole bunch of, can you see all the options? It starts with connecting women one by one and goes down to sisterhood, have heart, but.
Right.
So since it's a circle, what other words can we come up with so it happily connecting women? Because
Yeah.
we're spreading happiness. I think I like that.
Now you talked up above about your community.
Right.
So you have a couple in here with your community, a few of them.
Do you think we should
Do you
put
want to
community in
repeat that or not?
tagline too?
Well, that's my question.
Yeah, it's a lot of community.
Okay, well, here's the thing though, and when you send out publicity, you'll send out Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle and the tagline. The vision statement and the mission statement don't go out with the tagline. So I don't know how you want to do that.
I kind of like Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle, happily connecting women. That's what we want to do.
I like that. Happily connecting women. I like that. Or Jewishly connecting women.
Oh,
That's a thought.
yeah, I like that.
It's different.
Yeah, I like
Is that a real word, Jewishly?
Yeah,
It is
now.
Okay. The question is, will everything you do be Jewishly related? Will there be a component in every program? If you do a wine tasting, or is it going to be wines from Israel or kosher wines or something? Or if you're
Well, by virtue of the fact that it's Rodeph Sholom, it's Jewish.
Exactly.
Thank you.
okay, I'm fine. I'm just here to ask the question.
That's the way it hits me too, Sarah.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
Are we saying happily Jewishly connecting women or Jewishly connecting
Just
women?
Jewishly connecting
Jewishly.
women.
Yeah.
I
You don't want to make it too complicated.
I like it because that would catch my eye.
Yeah.
I would think, well, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
good. You're on a roll, Renee.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, just to review, the vision. Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle is a supportive arm of the Rodeph Sholom community. Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle supports the synagogue members by building community through education, programming, and fundraising. The name, Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle, and then you're just going to say Rodeph Sholom Women's Circle, not Rodeph Shalom's apostrophe S.
Yeah, I think,
I don't think we need the apostrophe S.
Okay,
I don't either.
I just wanted to make sure I got it correct. And then your tagline is Jewishly Connecting Women.
oh, I like that.
I like it.
I like it too.
Right.
Great
All
job.
right.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, let me stop sharing that. You have all those, Carol? Otherwise, I'll.
I got him. I got him.
Okay. Oh, now we can go on. All right, so I think the other topic that you need to address is structure. And whatever you decide right now doesn't have to be your permanent structure, but you do need to have something so that you know who is doing what. And, are you going to go traditional with the president, vice presidents, and secretaries? Are you going to go co-presidents where you may have 2 or 3 women that share the duties of a president and then have the rest be traditional type positions? Or do you want to just do it by teams where you can have, a steering committee that will take the place of the president, and then have a team for membership, a team for programming, a team for whatever else. The only positions I really think that you need to have, in my opinion, is a recording secretary so that you have somebody to record all of your minutes and keep you above board, because that's required by many states. And the other thing is a treasurer, because you need somebody that can handle the money. And if you have a financial secretary or not, you need somebody that is a checks and balance for that financial for the treasurer. Because somebody does need to write checks and somebody does need to deposit checks and keep track. So what is your thinking right now? Any of that strike you?
I'm going to stick my 2 cents in. We've tried the traditional. We've done the co-presidents. We've done the, past presidents stepping up again. And we are where we are because we couldn't continue it. We just didn't have the leadership to continue it. So
are you suggesting that you go to a steering committee in teams?
Okay, I just gave a little background. I'm gonna be quiet. What does everybody think?
Well, I was wondering, like the traditional type of meeting, you get around and you plan, etc. Will it be open to someone saying, "Hey, I just want to see what's going on," versus, "Oh no, you're not part of that committee and you can't join"? Because I've had that experience where, like, "Oh no, you're not allowed to. You're not in that committee." And that's a quick way to push
Turn people off.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And everybody should be welcome on any committee that they want to help on, because you never know, that person may be your next president when the time comes. I agree with you, Terry. Yeah.
What do other sisterhoods do in your experience?
Okay. Most of them are traditional. Mm-hmm. But I will say that a lot of those traditional ones are having trouble developing leadership. And some will temporarily try another structure. Some will permanently change their structure. So I can give you one example where nobody stepped up to be president at a certain sisterhood, and they just did without for 2 years. They had the board that made all the decisions together, and they divided up the work between all of them. And then somebody was ready to become president once there was a new structure in place. They rebranded and did all what you're doing now. Mm-hmm. So, and others, they just, here's the challenge. It comes up when people drop off little by little and you don't realize it. And all of a sudden there's one person doing everything. So to build teams builds a lot of future leadership. So the more you can get involved. Now, it doesn't mean you don't need, you can't have a president and vice presidents and officers, but you should have as many teams as possible and groups of people and not just one person. I mean, look, Carol got all of you together to work on this as a rebranding or re-energizing committee. And every group should be like that: membership programming, finances, whatever you're doing.
Well, we all know the traditional method isn't going to work.
Okay.
Because we've been trying it and we just don't have anybody to fill traditional offices.
Okay.
Officers.
Like I told, we've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
We still do Sister Shabbat. We're still doing a Torah Fun event. We're still doing, and we were supposed to do another Vashti's banquet. I mean, people are taking pieces, but maybe explain the difference between a team and a committee. Maybe that.
All right. A committee is also a traditional structure where you have a chair that's in charge, maybe a vice chair, and then the committee chair assigns jobs to people. So you'll take care of the decorations, you'll take care of the food, you'll contact the speakers, whatever, and that person's in charge. Whereas a team gets together and discusses everything together, and then people will step up and say, hey, I like to do the decorations. I'm going to do that. I know that speaker. I'm going to call that speaker. And everybody collaborates and they all decide together. Not one person makes a decision. And by doing that, you share the load of the work. And you don't feel the stress of making all those decisions by yourself. And you can also bring in, with a team, like you said, somebody said, oh, you can't be on that committee. A team, anybody can come in. You want to bring in as many people as you can to help and to be a part of it. Even if if the only thing they do is sit at the door and greet people, that's great. If that's the only job they want, but they're there to help you do all the planning and the discussing, that's what you need. You need a lot of people to work together and collaborate. So does that explain it clear enough, Carol, or do you have something to add?
No, I just, because I know it's always hard for people to understand the difference between a team and we spent so many years working on that, the difference between a team and a committee.
Right.
Team here, it's usually more welcoming, and everybody's equal, basically. Everybody's equal, so it makes it more of a collaboration than a structure.
Right. So if you were to have teams, which teams do you think that you would need?
Planning and events.
Okay, and how many? You said you have sometimes you have a Vashti's banquet. Torah Fund would be under events.
The interfaith tea.
Sisterhood Shabbat. We also do community outreach when we can, such as Feeding America or Feeding Tampa Bay.
Is that done in cooperation with the synagogue, or does the
Sisterhood?
The sisterhood.
That's our tikkun olam, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So the events planning, each of those events can have a separate team. You don't need, if you're not going to have a programming vice president or a programming chair, you can just have 4 different groups working on 4 different projects. And they may have people that overlap different committees. They may want to be on more than one, but it's a lot easier to ask somebody to work on one thing than to ask them to work on a half a dozen. And you can, that way you can also reach out to more people. If you have a list of people that participated in Tour Fund last year, you know, call them all and say, hey, can you help plan this year's? We really want to honor this person. We were supposed to honor her last year. Can you just get on a Zoom call with these other 4 or 5, 6 people and put something together? And most people will say, yeah. And then once they're involved, they're invested in it and more likely to participate in other things, or maybe they'll just do this every year.
I guess my thinking is, how do we encourage other women to participate instead of just being the same people all the time?
Ask. You have to
Bingo.
make that, personal phone calls. It's, you know, we all want to do things at 11 o'clock at night after the dishes are done and the laundry's folded and just send an email. But let me tell you, people really respond to the personal phone calls better.
I think we found that out with Lisa Robbins.
Yeah.
So if we can just go back, then what other, you have events, you have community outreach. What other teams do you think that you will need? Do you need a membership team?
Probably.
Be good.
Okay. And what about finances? Will you be able to find one person to do it, or do you want to have a couple of people working on that, which would include keeping track of per capita? Because I saw in your bylaws, and I don't know if you still do it, that you have an upcharge to belong to Women's League as part of your dues, or is that different? Those bylaws are really old.
No, we have a flat 2-tiered, or we used to anyway, a flat 2-tiered dues structure, and out of that comes the per capita.
Okay. All right. Are you still charging if people pay late? Charging them more?
Never
No.
did.
I don't think, did we ever?
I think we ever
It
did.
was in the bylaws. It was, instead of 36, it was $48 for late.
I don't
No,
remember.
we never did that. We
Those are
always
That's
went,
wishful thinking then.
the 2-tier was always the regular membership. And then if you wanted to be a high sister,
A super sister.
a
Okay.
super sister. Okay.
Whatever.
I guess I'm back in the old.
And you can still keep that fee structure with having, you know, an extra level, you know, a higher level, whatever you refer to it as. But you can also add several levels. Yeah, and I don't know how high your high level is. I've heard them being, you know, one sisterhood.
54. 36 and 54.
Yeah, one does 36, 54. And then they started one with the anniversary of the sisterhood at 60th anniversary. So every year it goes up $1. So, you know, start at 60 now, you could be, I don't know, 65, 67. I don't know how many years it's been. And one sisterhood I know charges $500. It's either $36 or $500. And for the $500, you get to go
If one member?
Yeah, you go to everything free. You don't get charged for anything. You get some other certain benefits. And they get a half a dozen people or so to do that every year. So
Where's that sisterhood, if I may ask?
it's in San Diego. It's not mine.
It's the other one.
It's the other one. Yeah.
But we typically, when we have an event, always have angels. We've been doing angels most of the past.
Angels, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that all goes to, though, keeping track of the finances. So the question is, do you need, is a treasurer enough? Do you need a financial secretary also? Because, and your synagogue does not handle your books?
No.
Okay, who did we just lose? Terry, okay.
We just lost Terry.
Yeah, could be an
No,
internet problem.
we We do our own books. The sisterhood, the synagogue doesn't.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay, so I guess the question, we really need a treasurer.
yeah.
I mean, the financial secretary is really, other than the database, and I've been doing that. So
Well, yeah.
the question is, anybody know anyone? I mean, you have to ask somebody, not us, but somebody else. You have to widen the circle.
Right. Anybody good with numbers? Lisa?
Yeah. Lisa, do you know anybody that's good with numbers and stuff?
Not unless you buy them a drink, man. You're going to have to get these women out, buy them some drinks and get them going.
Hey, listen, we used to do it all the time by everybody,
I cannot, like, I'm thinking like Susan Sandler, and she's like, I haven't found one thing I want to go to. I mean, you got to, like I keep saying, until I'm blue in the face, until you get these people out and give them a reason to want to volunteer. I mean, I'm part of a secular women's group, and that's how they got me. They fed and watered me, and, it was, I was like, okay, I'm
We
in.
should have a
Wine
chip
and dine.
night out.
So Lisa,
Yeah, we
some
did a silver coffee.
Okay.
What?
So let me ask you a question. In this time of COVID, yeah, you're not going to get people necessarily to take others out, because I know a lot of people are being very cautious.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I went out with 15 women 2 nights ago. So I think that's a generational, if you want younger people, you're going to have to offer some activities to people that are indeed going out. So
I'm not
I
saying
understand what you're saying, but you're going to have to do something to get some younger members.
Okay, so what type of an event would you go to, other than, what was it? Was it out for drinks, coffee, just chatting?
Yes.
There was no
So
structure.
we went to Capitol Grill. We did a happy hour.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but
It's a steakhouse.
Oh, okay. All right, and you didn't have any structure to the program. It was just to get out together.
That particular one, yeah. We're doing stuff at the clubhouse too. So, but that's a different discussion. But we meet at different places, and we do meet live. And we generally, we had a speaker last month, but then we also, there was 2 different groups that kind of split off a committee, and we all got together and we had some drinks and we talked about what we want to do at something that we're sponsoring as a committee. We have a month that we take.
Okay, so there's
an idea.
That's a good concept. Have a group and then split them up by month. And each group does a monthly event. I like that.
Yeah, that's the Beach Park Women's Club.
I like that concept.
And we have co-presidents, co-secretaries, co-everything. But they made a decision, that's how I got involved, that they were getting stale and they needed some younger members to take over. And it looks a lot different than when even I joined. There's some very different people. These women own their own companies. They're not necessarily the people that used to do this to just get out. So some of the programming looks different, but they are bringing some new life to events.
And how did they find those new people?
One person generally found somebody else. Somebody sent me a silver coffee invitation, and I went out and I enjoyed myself and found a tribe of people that like to use china, crystal, and silver. And I thought I was the only one. And then some of the people that formed a committee asked me to join, and we've been meeting for drinks. So that's how I continued to stay. And I find like, oh, I want to pay dues because this is something that I enjoy, not something that's my social responsibility.
So it's largely word of mouth, finding new members?
Usually one person grabs one person.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say that you guys used to go to DATS. So if we were going to DATS, I could probably call Susan Sandler and say, hey, it's right around the corner. I'll pick you up. Let's go have a drink. And, it's through sisterhood and we'll get to see some other people. And, if we made this a monthly thing, I think you guys said you used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And as you went to make 3 or 4 activities, I might be able to say, hey, can you help a sister out? And you just sort of bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, you had a speaker. So who is the speaker?
We've had a few speakers. We had Michelle Cisco, who's one of the members, who's a federal judge, talk about the amendments, the last election. She walked us through some of those. Trying to think of some of the other speakers we've had. We had something on Tampa development. My husband's getting called. I'm trying to think of some. I'm still pretty new to the group, and I don't always make it to the meetings, but that one was good. And then I can't remember what the last one was about. I wasn't able to make it because I was out of town. We had like a silent auction, not silent and live auction. We did a fundraising thing for a charity that we picked. It was a children's house. Trying to think of, I could get my book if you wait a minute. I'll go grab my book and it has all the events for the year and who's speaking. We had one on caring for aging parents.
Well, that's all of us.
Well, that's like I said, if you're going to bring younger people in, that's a topic that we would be interested in.
Yeah, no, it's a good
I just
thing.
lived that.
Okay, so do you think that this group would meet once a month?
Yeah, if it was something that people wanted to do, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you won't have everybody's not going to want to come to everything.
Right.
Well,
No,
right.
You got to offer them,
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean, I'm not going to go to the knit and crochet, not because I would love to learn at some point, but that's just not on my radar right now. But
not ready.
so
right
you have something for everyone. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have to adjust our expectations.
Mhm.
Is that if we touch a woman
Small groups.
once, well, if you touch somebody once a year, that's a success. The old thinking,
Right.
that you get everybody at everything, it isn't the way the world is now.
I wonder, would you think that we would be good to start off with every month, or maybe just start off every other month? You can always add in. I would like to rather see us have to add than subtract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, when were we supposed to be doing bingo?
Next week, but I'm not Sarah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry, because I forgot.
Well, because I have a pulmonary doctor appointment, and it's like, and a haircut and that, and it's like, so I was looking what next week is bring my car in for an oil change.
Are you doing that online? The bingo online?
Yeah, we were going to do the bingo online, the stuff that Grace shared at convention.
I think it got away from us.
Yeah. Okay. So Lisa, is that something that you would be interested in? What things that Sisterhood does right now are you interested in? Do you go to Sisterhood Shabbat or the Interfaith or? Okay, so
Unfortunately, we don't see Lisa at any of our events, but I know now the secret. Booze.
right.
Booze or cooking? Booze or cooking? I like to cook.
Okay.
All right. So you have the big programs that you have scheduled for the year. So interspersed with those, can you do 2 events a month? Would you do 2 events?
Sure, why not?
You
Well,
think
yeah,
we
because
can-
it will probably attract different age groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the question is though, do you have enough women power to run that many programs a month?
I mean, if you got
Not right
3,
now.
actually, I mean, if you want to be inclusive, I mean, I would bring my iPad to DATS and put it up, so if people at home want to join us, we could, Zoom everybody in so that they don't feel.
That's
And
a
we
good
can do-
idea.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
There
can
are
do
some
a-
of us who won't eat inside a restaurant right now.
I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would venture guess that many of your members will not. And a lot of it is generational. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I don't think so. I know a lot of younger women that will not go out to restaurants either.
Yeah.
My
A lot
daughter
of-
won't. She won't either. She
Yeah.
eats outside.
But I like that idea, Lisa, of,
Bring me out.
restarting the schmooze thing at Dad's, and the only
We can
trouble.
go outside. I mean, it's lovely weather. I think a lot of people, would come if it's outside at Dad's. I mean, that would sort of be I don't particularly go outside, but I mean, I will. If everybody wants to go outside, it's October, we could go outside and, that sort of, I know people, I mean, we're in phase 3. So most of my friends are eating inside, but I know a lot of people that don't. And they say, well, we'll go outside. So like at Ocean Prime, they're sitting people outside. At Capitol Grill, they're sitting people outside. It's no longer 90 degrees at night. So, I mean, we could do something outside.
Okay.
So, so you need a couple of people that can, find a date, decide on some sort of either a topic, a speaker, or just somebody to, what's the word I want? To engage everybody in conversation, to be the facilitator. That's the word I want for this type of a program, because you can't just,
Have people show.
yeah, because you do want to make sure, like Lisa said, somebody met her, they told her about things, they asked her to be on a committee, and you want to make sure you have that kind of interaction with people where even if you don't ask them the first time, the next time, ask them, what do you want? What other types of programs would you participate in? Have a list of questions for that. It could be very casual, yet have some sort of structure to it.
We could call it our celebration of our new name.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
Bubble bursting.
Bubble bursting,
Yeah.
like bubble tea.
Yeah, so that would be another team that you would have, another group of people to work on that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Renee, what if we called it an engagement team? Instead of membership, an engagement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, Carol. Yes. Or, some places call it outreach. Some people call it, other things, engagement. Yeah, because it is outreach. You're not just sending a letter to say, hey, please join. This is what we're going to do this year. You want to get these people involved. You want to, especially now, you want to let them know your new direction and what you're doing. And even if they don't join, you want them to come to something. So you're right, it is engagement, because eventually they'll see if it's something that they really like, they will join. It's just like in Women's League has the daily Psalms, and they say Kaddish, and people haven't been able to go to synagogue to say Kaddish. Not all synagogues are Zooming. And so people have started coming because they know they can. And so they've joined as individual members because they don't have sisterhoods in their area or at their synagogue, but they found this community. And that's the same kind of thing that, you'll want to try to do too. Okay, so I know the next big job will be finding people to help with all these.
Right.
And you'll just have to go through, do you have a synagogue membership list that you can go through?
Yeah, we have a synagogue directory. I just go through with anybody, regardless of their member right now or not.
Okay,
I think we should tie our hands like that.
absolutely. And that's the other thing that I noticed in your bylaws. It did say any woman that agrees to the vision and mission statements. So it didn't say any Jewish woman. So I want to
Yeah,
make sure that, and again, that's up to the rabbi or your cantor rabbi as it is this year.
I think that's intentional. I think we worded it that intentionally because of intermarriage.
Okay, that's fine.
it was done very intentionally because we had co-presidents and one of the co-presidents
Was not Jewish.
not Jewish, so they changed the bylaws.
Okay,
Yeah. So which
that's, I'm just asking. And now Women's League has changed the model bylaws to say anybody that identifies as a woman. So I don't know how your community is, but it's something
we haven't faced that situation yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think we're asking that question. I think it's however they present.
Yeah, I don't think we've had that issue. So Lisa, I have a question. So like, what day of the week would be good to do something at Dad's? I mean, we did it on Wednesdays because that's when Hebrew school was, but they're not going to be doing Hebrew school in person on Wednesdays. It's virtual.
Right.
So,
But everybody's picking their kids up from school. Everybody's in school, brick and mortar. So I think any day is fine. I mean, my son does sports, so he's not even ready for pickup till usually 5:45 or 7:15, depending on whether he's swimming or running. But most, he can catch a ride,
Long.
Oh, yeah.
What time did school start?
8:50.
Oh, okay. Because my son started at 7:15.
No, next year I think he's going to go to plant, so that may be a different animal. But by then he'll be driving. He has a license. We just don't let him drive yet. You should be grateful we don't let him drive yet. But really, except for work for me, and we take a class. My husband and I are ballroom dancers, so we dance on Monday night. But other than that, most nights, if it's not work related, I can go. I mean, I'm out a lot at night with work. So I'm out next month, the 11th, the 5th, and I think the 18th. I'm out all 3 nights for work. But, if I'm not at work, I do a happy hour. Sure, I can drink every night.
all right. So does anybody know anybody that we can call to see if they want to be our treasurer? You know anyone?
Who is your treasurer now?
Riva?
Excuse me. Reva is was the temporary treasurer.
Saint Reva?
Yes.
Mhm.
Saint Reva the Divine?
So if anybody knows anyone,
I have asked a few people myself. No, thank you.
Yeah.
How hard is it of a job? You write a check, you balance, you get deposits. You write a check, you get receipts.
and not too many checks. I think Riva, you've written 2 checks this.
It's not the writing of the checks. It's keeping the books on computer and whatnot. The whole 9 yards. Writing
You
a
actually
check.
the books on the computer.
Are you
I
on?
still use a ledger book. My old days when.
Hey,
Hello, that's why
Terry,
they
you're
asked
talking
you to
yourself
do it.
right into it.
But guess what? Nope,
Yeah.
not my bag.
I mean, I don't mind doing it, truthfully. The only thing is, I live in San Antonio, Florida, for Renee.
Beautiful.
I am actually, and our previous rabbi was shocked when he drove up to Camp Ramah. He said, "This is where the Katzes live?" I am 35 miles from the synagogue.
Yeah.
I actually, when we moved here and joined, I ended up getting a Subaru and turning in my Rogue because the Subaru got better mileage.
Well, I have family out in Dade City, so I can
Oh.
pick liver. My husband's family's almost to Lacucci. They're on the other side of Dade City.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yep. But I drive past Jovita all the time.
Yeah, I'm exit 285.
Okay.
I'm in that Tampa Bay Golf and Country Club.
Okay.
I don't play golf, but we have great cycling hills in San Antonio.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous out there.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and we also have a lot of rednecks.
Well, you need to decide whether that'll work for you.
I mean, I don't mind being treasurer. I mean, I would have to meet, I guess, with Riva, because you had to notify the bank that you are changing the signature.
Yeah.
Because I remember being the treasurer for our bike club in New Jersey, which I didn't ride with, but no one wanted to do it. And I had to go with so I went with the president to the bank to sign the card to say that, yes, I am going to be on this account.
Yes.
And they gave me I had my own debit card so I could, an ATM card so I could deposit checks.
That part isn't difficult because Ken deposits everything on desktop and he just puts it in our account.
Okay, so I don't even know what desktop, depositing on desktop means.
Yeah.
So it's similar to taking a picture on your phone.
Oh, okay. That I do.
But it's a little standalone scanner that scans directly to the bank.
Oh, okay.
So all the checks go to the synagogue, and then the synagogue will deposit them into the sisterhood account.
Yes.
Oh,
So they are involved. So then the treasurer just needs to have copies of the checks to make sure the deposits match.
Yep, it's really easy now. It's easier than ever.
And most of that can probably be scanned and emailed or something.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So we'll work that out. So I think we need to set some goals that's how we started with that quote today. I think you need to figure out what your goals are for the next 2 weeks, month. And who is going to actually, is this steering committee going to be in effect the executive committee for now? Is that how you're envisioning this, to move things along until you do get all your teams in place? I mean, how do you want to work this? I'm just asking, it's up to you how you want to do it, but you need to figure out what you're doing, what the next steps are. So that's a couple of different questions.
We want to be the steering committee, the steering team for right now, and then, just to.
yeah, I guess. I mean, otherwise, we're going to still have to contact people.
Yeah. Sarah, do you think Lisa was going to do another ice cream social? Lisa,
We could do a follow-up, yep. We
I
can
could
go
go-
through all the trivia.
Now that we only had 15 people, and so Lisa, the question is, we did this ice cream social, and it really was a lot of fun.
This time we'll do it with booze. How about the ice cream go straight to the booze?
we can.
Well, I would just have the ice cream.
I agree, but we want a real Lisa in here.
Well, Brandy Alexander does both.
There you go.
Here we go. All right.
Want a grasshopper too, right?
So we did it on a Sunday afternoon. So obviously that doesn't work for families. So Sunday night, I'm thinking Sunday night's like, you're getting ready.
We're getting ready for school.
I think a lot of people are getting their week ready, their things ready for the week, if you're talking about the younger people.
So we should have a Brandy Alexander get together.
Yeah, there you go.
Just FYI, I was told that somebody didn't come to the ice cream social because they thought if you didn't have ice cream or didn't eat ice cream, it wasn't worth them coming.
So,
Well, somebody I knew, not that it wasn't worth it, but she thought that you had to have ice cream, and she doesn't eat ice cream. So
Right.
right there,
I explained to her it had nothing to do with anything.
That's what I said.
right, it was just a place.
Right there,
Other people showed up who didn't have ice cream. People showed up with a glass of wine, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, somebody did.
Okay, so then it's how you present it, like Lisa was saying before, how you present the program. If you say social at whatever the ice cream place is, and so that they know it's social, getting to know the new whatever the new name,
Women's circle.
getting out, whatever you want to call it, and then it just happens to be at the ice cream place. Then that doesn't leave out people that are lactose intolerant, which I assume is why people wouldn't eat ice cream, because who wouldn't otherwise? I can't imagine that.
If they're on a diet.
Yeah, because I like ice cream. What can I say? I would come. Okay. So let's give it, this group will be the steering committee. You're going to come up with something for your monthly event for next month to make it a little bit more social and maybe bring in other people. You'll figure out a date, you'll figure out a time and a place. And Lisa, and you will offer iPad accessibility, Zoom accessibility if people are still not comfortable coming out but want to be part of the social.
I would definitely think you absolutely need to have Zoom available for anything you do for a while.
Sure. I will say, we're bumping into the holidays too, because we're getting close to Thanksgiving.
Right.
And people have other stuff. So, I mean, it's probably sooner rather than later, because I don't think you're getting anything in December.
I
Right.
absolutely cannot do anything next month at all.
Yeah, that's,
outside my house.
I'm wondering if we should wait till January in order to.
And start fresh with the new year.
Yeah.
Well,
New year, new name, new.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just make
something.
it successful.
Are we still doing the book discussion in December?
Yes,
Did we decide on a book?
yes. Well, I did, yes.
Oh,
That's my thing, yeah.
Okay, can you let everybody know?
We
because I
should
didn't know.
send something
Right.
out.
So you have plenty going on. You have bingo next week. You have the book next month, and
I
then
don't think the bingo's going next week. We haven't said.
Okay.
anything.
All right,
So-
but
Who did-
and Torah Fund. You want to get Torah Fund
We have
together.
a few other meetings already next week, Carol.
What? Yeah, I
We
know.
have some other meetings already next week.
I have a question.
Book camp, the Tampa Bay Jewish Book Festival starts next.
Who is it I contact about sending out something? Or who does it? I don't know how to do any of that.
Send me
Oh,
the
that's the
information
book
on
you
the
wanna
book
do, The
and I'll
Liar?
put something
This
together.
is the book.
Okay.
Can you email me that?
Yeah,
And I'll throw something together.
All
yeah,
right.
we have a date. I don't know, it's on the calendar. Was it like
It's
December
December
18th?
16th.
16th? Okay.
December 16th?
Yeah, I don't know what day of the
Yeah.
week it is, but
That's another team you will need is communications, because you will need somebody, somebody that can create the
Yeah.
flyers.
it's
Who's
a
the author of
Wednesday.
the book, Susie?
She
It
already-
just went off.
Oh, sorry.
It's called The Liar.
That I
Saw the
saw.
liar, and her name is Ayelet. Here, let me get to it. I took this picture last month at the meeting, I think.
I'll get something off of Amazon.
Pick a date for January so that we can.
Her name is, boy, it's hard to see. It's Ayelet Gundar, Gundar - Goshen, Goshen.
Okay, that's all I need.
All right. So
Thank you.
you've got that. You've got Torah Fund. You're going to need communications. You're going to have to decide too. Do you send emails? Do you have a newsletter? Do you send text messages? Do you send, there's a lot of things in communications now. Are you still mailing hard copies to those that need it? And do you have somebody besides Carol who can be help with the Zoom stuff? Because all of that would be on the communications team. So, you need at least 2 people to be available for the Zoom. So when you're thinking of your teams, include communications in that.
Put it down.
Okay, so you have a lot of things to work on, and just start asking people. I don't know when you want to start. Will you put your name out in January then? Do you want to get bylaws done before you send all that information out? Do you want to do a teaser?
I think, I know this is terrible coming from me, Renee, but I think we should just wait on the bylaws. We need to
Okay.
Get going.
together. Yeah, get
Okay.
us together,
That's fine with me. I won't tell anybody, Carol.
Okay, don't, you can't say that I said that.
It was recorded, Carol. It was recorded.
We have working bylaws for now. They just need to be updated. That's all.
We need to see how the structure's gonna work to,
They just need to be updated.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. If I'm gonna be treasurer or taking
Yeah.
care of the checkbook, who do I speak to? Ken?
You and Reva can get together. I'll keep doing the financial secretary stuff.
What's the difference between that and treasurer?
Oh,
Do
financial,
you know how to do QuickBooks?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I can learn. I know how to do a spreadsheet.
No, this is all computer.
I'll
That's
teach you
where I got all-
QuickBooks. I'll teach you
Put up
I'll
with it.
teach
It
you
was
how
not
to use
even
it.
funny.
Okay, ladies, I have to go.
Okay.
Okay.
I had a
Okay,
10-minute
wait, wait,
tutorial.
I'll see
Didn't do
some of you at
anything for
Union.
weeks on end, and then
See you
had
tomorrow.
what
Wait,
I was
wait, wait.
doing.
Carol, you had a question for Susie?
yeah, book club. What was the date?
December
16th.
16th.
Okay. And
And
then
please don't use that last font that I don't remember if it was for the challah baking or whatever it was. I couldn't read what it was. I heard that from several people. We couldn't read what it said. It was like, do that simple thing again.
yeah, the other thing you have to do when you're creating any communications that are going digitally is to check it on all devices before you send it.
Yeah.
Check it how it looks on a phone, check how it looks on a desktop, and check how it looks on an iPad, because it all comes in differently, and people, you can make them larger, but it's not always easy to read. Okay.
And you also,
Thank you.
Carol, we need to send it by email. Not everybody does WhatsApp.
No,
Text?
Ariana did the WhatsApp. Most of the
Oh,
stuff,
what-
I mean, most of the stuff is going out that, on the Rodeph Weekly. All right.